We're live. Hello and welcome to the Freemasons podcast with your hosts, Right Worship George Marjorie,
Worshipful Brother Joe,
and Worshipful Brother Ken.
Technology.
You didn't give me much warning there.
Technology hates George.
Did you do that on purpose?
I did. That's what I titled this one. Technology hates George. Why?
All disheveled over here.
It must be the sanitizer, but you smell freaking good.
It's the hand sanitizer.
Try your fingers. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
What?
Technology hates George. Why? Because we tried getting Tim Hogan on, which we're going to be doing next Sunday instead. And OBS doesn't want to play nice.
Yeah, the problem is we keep getting new hardware and software because we try to improve our game. And then when we do that, we have to learn a whole new set of damn tools, and we don't give ourselves enough time to do that because we're stupid.
Especially when your computer explodes.
Yeah, we're simple men. Simple men.
We're going to just do an episode.
We're going to wing it.
We're going to wing it.
Wing it.
We're going to, this is a couple things I want to talk about.
I could talk about a lot.
I know you can. You've had a couple sodas, if we will.
Yeah. Well, it's been a good day. I started the day with a what's referred to as a dry triathlon. So it's a 2,000 meter row, 300 different body weight calisthenics, and then you run a 5K immediately afterwards.
And you followed that by doing what?
A couple beers and a pizza.
Okay. You got to counteract all that healthiness.
Yeah. So I'm slightly dehydrated and had a couple beers.
Yeah. Tony V.
But it's all good.
Live and learn.
So he's all fired up
We
now.
learn a lot.
All fired up.
Usually by our mistakes.
Pretty much all we do is learn from mistakes. We don't really accomplish anything.
We tend to make a lot of them. Thankfully, our brothers that understand.
Jesus Christ.
I had to hiccup. Come on.
If we interviewed like Joe Rogan caliber
They would not put up with it.
Yeah, we would have gotten like blacklisted.
Yeah.
But thankfully, worshipful brother Tim Hogan is very understanding.
Yep.
He's rescheduled for next weekend. So we'll have things straightened away by then.
Just spoke to him on the phone too.
Yeah,
So
great brother.
awesome.
Good brother.
So we're going to talk about what we did earlier today.
Oh, we are.
But first, let's do some housekeeping.
Oh my God!
Who's got likes?
Just so you know, since we announced that worshipful brother Tim Hogan was going to be a guest on the show, we've had 71 new likes.
Jesus, that's awesome.
Like it's up significantly. I'll pull them up. I'll do the best I can to kind of try to figure out where they are and who we may not have mentioned, but yeah, there's a significant
71. So how about we just say thank you to the 71 rather than going down the names?
I can just announce the 4 new Instagram
You can do the
followers.
4. I can do
a little anemic over there.
I can go pretty quickly.
Okay.
I don't know that I'll get all 71 of them, but I'll do a good amount of them.
Do your best.
All right.
You know.
Ozu Adnan, Stefan Venter, Raylene Peralta, Brendan Humberdross, Darryl Humble, Edgar Amar, Brian Cummings, Connor McMenemy, Tony Barabi, Meyer Amshel Rothschild, Brad Parkinson, Robert E. Mascara, Vincent Leo Ross, James Parker Fouts, Brian Mitchell, Dominique DeMatteis, Sophie Hanna, Freemasons of Nambia.
Nice. We're number 1 in Nambia, by the way. Here's to you, Nambia.
Pravs Sharma, Isaiah Lillard, Juan Esteban Arevalo Zanata. We did Hermes Trismegistus,
Indeed.
Adam Rock, Ali O. Carai Smile, Gary Schumati, Adam Goldman, Giovanni Ricci, Andrea Sullivan, Jana Lynn, Sean Moyer, A.M. Serenas, Aaron Huey, and I'll stop with worshipful brother Timothy Hogan.
Beautiful.
Nicely done.
Mr. Ken.
All right, over here on Instagram, we've got Hoss Poss, Tales from Missouri, which those must be some fascinating stories. Zach Sloan and PSK Auto Repair, which is interesting.
Well, good. Go
Thank
change
you,
your
friends
tires,
and brothers.
Keith
Yeah.
Noonan says, is our camera out of focus or is it his end?
Could be that you were twiddling around with the focus knob on the camera.
Could be. The other thing is, Ken, flip that light on.
Oh, that's right. The lighting is not right.
Is that to make them look more or less pale?
Better.
Am I glowing?
We also have light coming into the window because, again, this time of the year is when the light seems to just beam straight through this window onto
Right.
Ken.
And that's why you bought that shade explicitly, because it reflected off me.
What light through yonder window breaks? There's the east.
We burned
Juliet
out 2
is the
cameras
west.
from my reflected visage.
I've got a room darkening curtain at home. I'll bring it in.
Yeah, we have to because that
Remind me.
window's.
No, I have it. So
We could staple up some tinfoil, like the people down the street.
He says Jim Delaney says it's too bright, it's oversaturating.
who?
Oh,
Jim
look
Delaney.
at, look at
Hey,
brother
Brother Delaney.
Jim with like the broadcast intelligence there.
He doesn't
It's
talk to me anymore. I don't
oversaturated.
think he likes me, but I love you, brother Jim. Just
Yeah, nothing we can do about it at this moment until Joe brings in his blackout.
You want me to mess around with the focus knob?
I
while
have
we
you.
start
Just
picking
remind
these
me.
off?
Eh, it's up to you if you want to, but
Yeah, yeah.
you
Start
start
off.
off. While we're in the process of that, just want to say we hit 500 subscribers on YouTube. I know that's not much, but hey, we appreciate
Hey,
every
for
single
us, we
person.
appreciate it, and it's it's a lot of that was due to our scheduled guest, so we're happy to have him on the show.
On top of that, I just want to apologize to our viewers when they go through the comments and likes, and they have there's like porn links that's spam.
What?
I swear to God, look at let's see, it says it's got a name and then it says 11 seconds and then it's some weird
Oh,
thing to it. Yeah, so
how's that happen?
nope, you're worse, Ken. I'll tell you until you get better. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Stop. That should be good.
Hematon.
But I want to apologize to that. And here's some new subscribers. Aaron Huey. I would make fun of him. He looks like a big motherfucker, isn't it?
Yeah, but look at Raph. He's a big, you know what?
I don't know. He looks like he could put up a hell of a fight against Raph.
Like Orson O'Bear.
Yeah. You know what? Shut up. Peroni B, Jay Gibson,
Is he related to
Edris Milani,
Idris Alba?
Sama Prabla 1, and that's it.
The funny thing is, those are the same names that I read, but you pronounced them totally different.
Probably. I'll give you that one, you fucker.
I love you.
Anyway, let's do this. Brethren, right hand to arms.
2 arms.
2 arms.
Ready?
Ready.
Aim.
Aim.
Fire. Good fire. Fire up. Together, brothers.
Vivat, vivat, vivat.
Thank you all. Thank you all.
You know how many times I almost screwed up the toast last night?
I was just going to say, I almost screwed up this one because we just went to a table lodge and did it with the
How was
actual
that?
way.
Let's talk about
It was
that.
a lot of fun. So it was like a first, really one of the first Masonic events we've had since COVID and Grandmaster's edicts last March or April or so. So it was a joint table lodge between my mother lodge, Astriller Aspatuck 142 in Easton, Connecticut, and Pyramid Shriners number 9 in Stratford, Connecticut. It was a lot of fun. It was just good to be in the presence. What would you say, Ken? Maybe like 30 to 40?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
they're right around there, properly following the protocols and whatnot.
Yep.
But God, it was just good to be around that many brothers in one location again.
So if you got up from the table, you had to put the mask on, but if you were sitting down, you had to
Exactly.
wear the mask. Okay.
Exactly.
What do you do for the toasts? Pinch
we were-
the mask, pull it down, take the swig, put the mask
No,
back
once
on.
if you're in your seat, you don't need to have your mask on.
Yeah, and we were far enough away from like most of those guys we hang around with anyway. So brother Danny, who's been on the show
Danny
from
Sharkers
Harmony,
was
was there,
there.
and I go to
Sure.
lodge with him, so it's like we're kind of exposed to each other anyway.
Right.
And what's it? What was his name? Brother Mark Miller? Is that who did our middle chamber lecture? Who did the middle
Mark
chamber lecture
Miller.
on the last Fellowcraft degree here at
Here?
Yeah. Is it Mark Miller?
Matt Miller.
Matt Miller. Sorry, brother Matt.
Okay.
I was thinking.
He was there. Brother Greg Schroeder. Like there were a lot of people there that I haven't seen in a long time. So it was fun. It was really good. But the toast at a table lodge, which our toast is similar to,
It's still different.
is still different. Like really messed me up.
So Joe and I are
Really
looking
bad.
at each other sidelong like,
Like when they're saying they present arms, we're like, together, brothers.
Yeah, like,
no, that's
you're
not how it
doing
goes. And then the worst thing was, Right Worshipful Brother Ray Collette called on me to do the fourth toast which is the toast to the Grand Master.
And the
Who was
Grandmaster's
there?
right there.
And
So
I'm
Joe's
like,
like, please don't screw up. Please don't screw up. Please don't screw up.
and I was very I thank God I had the script and I was reading the toast.
Right.
Otherwise, I would have said "Together, brothers." I'm like, oh boy, but it went. The toast went okay. The table lodge was a tremendous success, and it was just another testament to the fellowship at the craft. It was a lot of fun.
Now, Table Lodge is an ancient Masonic tradition. Breaking bread with a brother really kind of solidifies that kinship bond that we have with one another. And you don't really miss it until you can't do it for like a year and a half,
Right.
man. And it came right back to us. And it was something. It was a lot of fun.
They also did it virtually too, right? Like
There was a Zoom option.
Zoom
We
in.
had virtual brother Bill Collette, Ray's father, joined us virtually from Utah. Alex Krausley. I think you know Alex. He's usually the guy at the Table Lodge that stands up and screams, "That was a good one!"
Yes,
He sings in
From
French.
Universal 140. He sings in French,
He's a
which
hoot.
it was a little different this year when he's there remotely singing in French. It's a lot harder. So usually Universal 149, which is a traditional Haitian lodge, they'll bring like anywhere from 5 to 10 brothers to a table lodge, and they'll start singing this song in French. And normally, I could just be like "Vichy soir, blah blah blah," and go along with it.
But not when
But when
remote.
he's on Zoom and nobody else in the room is singing, I can't blend in
Yeah,
as
you
well.
can't
So I
BS
had to, like, I just couldn't. I couldn't fake it.
Those brothers are a lot of fun.
It was
those
fun
guys.
regardless. So good times. What? What are you looking
No,
at?
I had a comment.
You're
I'm
looking at me
behaving,
with
I'm behaving.
disdain.
No, I didn't disdain.
Anger? Is it anger?
No, it
Because
wasn't
there's been
anger.
anger today.
I was going to take a dirty shot at him, but I figured, I'll let it pass.
Oh, come on. That's nice.
However, we did something earlier today. I guess you can say would be, a Masonic outing.
I don't
Mr.
know if it
Karen.
was Masonic
It was
anyway,
amongst
outside of the
brothers.
fact that
I'm
it
just
were-
saying we're
it
all
was just
Masons.
brothers. Yeah.
Fellowship amongst brothers.
Fellowship amongst
Well,
brothers.
we had kind of like
Well, everybody else went shooting. Ken was landscaping.
I was landscaping. I was chewing up the railroad ties.
He was living more divots than at a golf course.
I was out doing my event, so I didn't get to go. I didn't even get an invite that I would have refused anyway, but I didn't get an invite.
I'm sorry.
Jesus.
Wasn't invited. I would say
Hey, what's going on, Charles?
Kind of feel bad. All right, so the next one we're going to make sure that it's the three of us come
Yep.
hell or high water. But this time we took out brother Right Worshipful Brother Chip
which I
Schofield
would gladly give up a spot for.
and Right Worshipful Brother Marty came out too. Marty
did he?
Carey
Good.
was
Came
doing the
out.
show.
He's a member of that.
He's a member of the club too. Yeah.
Yeah.
He brought his single action revolvers,
Yep.
Really?
which I suck terribly at. So
Super fun to shoot those.
So those are ones you have to cock and then shoot,
Yep.
correct?
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
and it's got the gate on the side. You got to
Yeah.
pop the gate open and all that stuff. I suck terribly at revolvers. I hate them.
that 45
Yeah,
is
yeah.
a lot of fun that he has.
And then I will show you later because I don't want to do it in the live. But I have a new weapon. Or I say weapon room.
You can't say that. It's a
You-
firearm.
This is my
Yeah, it's
rifle.
funny
This
though.
is
Let's
my
talk
gun.
about that. Okay, you're not allowed to call it a weapon, but when I was in the Marine Corps,
You had to call
that's
it a weapon.
exactly what it was called. It was a weapon. So now when the sitting there,
Why
now
wouldn't
that-
you call it a weapon? Just that from a
because it
People get sad.
denotes a negative to the firearm. So the
Because
NRA
a weapon basically is
a
used for
firearm
one
sounds
thing.
better than weapon.
Well, a weapon is used for defense against other human beings, whereas if it's a firearm, you could use it for hunting or plinking or
Right.
competition or whatever.
Yeah, but that little pocket thing that he has, you can't use that for hunting unless you're picking off pigeons or something.
I mean, there are some big pigeons and wolves.
Right? Isn't it a 22? Isn't that what
So,
you said? Go ahead,
but I'll
go
show
ahead,
it to you
go ahead, yeah.
afterward.
It's a plinker. It's a target.
But
I'm
so
used to you
anyway,
calling me small firearm.
I'm now an NRA.
and his whole hand fits in the
Pistol.
grip. It's the funniest thing. Like my last two fingers hang off, and like George is like, "It fits smooth."
We're gonna get to that because I got my balls busted about something else too. But so
Personal
Personal
picture of that.
problem.
we went out there and so whatever. I'm now an NRA instructor now, so I have to call it a firearm. So
Can
I
you
can't call
spell
it.
NRA?
Shut up. But
He like that.
Yeah,
yeah, I know, little shit. He's got to walk home now.
I'll give you a right to it.
But so we're out there, and I have a new firearm that's a Ruger LCP2, which good gun. But man, it
Ruger,
fits in the palm of your hand, right? So it now has the nickname.
It fits in the palm of your hand.
So
I could probably fire it with my left foot.
Yeah.
or something.
So we've named a couple of my firearms. One of which was Sweet Lucinda.
Yeah.
This one is now called the Noisy Cricket.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. After Men in Black.
Men in Black, the little
got
thing,
it.
because that's what it looks like.
It's a fun gun, though, man.
Now, here's the kicker of it all, though, right? So we had a blast. We were literally, shooting, up at the rifle range and all that stuff. But I was going to bring my foam. Thought I left it in the car for ear protection. Well, I must have taken it out at some point.
Worshipful Brother Ken is always prepared. Like
Yes.
the former Boy Scout he was. So, of
Yeah.
course, he had a backup set.
And
that
tell
backup
it's not-
everybody what the backup
You
set
probably
was.
would have
Hold on,
gone out
hold
and
on.
like fabricated a pair like MacGyver. if
I
you
could have
didn't
done that
So
too
now-
if I hadn't
It's
had that.
bad enough that I get called a midget. But now here I am shooting the Noisy Cricket and the head the ear
Well,
protection.
First, I'll tell everybody what the brand name of that hearing protection was. It's called Snug. And that's because it's made for children.
And they fit.
It was for my 9-year-old and for like fireworks and stuff. And hey, it fit George's head. So,
So now they have pictures of me with
Right.
little ass kid headphones on or ear protection on.
you work with what you've got. ladies and
shooting
gents.
my little
Noisy
Noisy Cricket.
All right. All right.
It worked, man. Hey, we were out there shooting the 308 and you had those little headphones
Yeah.
on and they worked. I mean, they're small, but they have the same amount of noise reduction as everything else. So
Hey, as long as they do the trick, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
they do, and they
It's
fit.
not the size that matters.
That's true.
coming from you, yeah.
'Cause I have the luxury of saying that.
So anyway, but other than that, it was a lot of fun seeing Marty because I haven't seen him in a couple months.
I don't think I've seen Marty since he's been up here.
Yeah,
Like that's it. It's
Yeah,
been a while
just a while.
since I've seen Marty. That might not be true, but that's how it feels.
I see him at
No,
like
since he was up here for
every
the-
lodge meeting.
yeah, but him getting to see Chip and then all of us just being together. It was a nice time.
No, I'm good. I'm glad
We had
Chip
a lot
got
of
out. Chip needs.
Yeah,
he
we
needs-
got to do another Masonic shoot too, and get as many
Yep.
brothers out. Make sure that Joe's there this time.
Well,
Because
that's your wheelhouse. That's your little
Yeah.
slice from heaven. So
I will set it up, and we will make some videos. And
I think
it'll
this
be
is twice that I wasn't invited, just for the record.
great. Yeah. Well, it was like 2 out of 5 times though, so it's not like
Yeah. Well,
just
no,
like
I
people
didn't.
like
I
to
actually
do
wasn't
the
aware
bitch.
there were 5 times, so that there was 5 times
times.
that I wasn't invited.
I haven't been up there 5 times.
Well,
so
no,
I didn't
we-
get invited half of them either. Then
I mean, we've invited
Still
Joe a
2
couple
more than-
times.
We have
He couldn't
invited Joe.
make it.
Well,
There were
okay,
two
so
times
you
where-
invited me like
I'm
an
gonna
hour.
stay home
before-
with my quiche.
He did
So
do that.
You invited me like an hour before you were leaving, and I was.
it was not an hour before we were leaving.
Yes, it was.
It was no.
Hey, we're going later today. No, I'm booked, man. I'm a busy guy.
We don't go later in the
got
day.
this,
though.
I
We
got
go in
that.
the morning.
Exactly. That's my point.
Yeah, but it was no less premeditated than our range trips normally are. We'll be like, hey, you want to meet down at the
Yeah.
gun club in 2 hours? Like
Yeah, I
that's
can't do that. I'm a popular.
like we're doing
I'm a
it ahead of
popular guy.
I know.
My time is in high demand. I don't. I can't help you. I usually book out weeks in advance. Good thing I'm here twice a week.
It's only because it's a recurring meeting invite on your calendar.
But then Joe invited us. I'm just making a point. I'm not taking cheap shots. I'm just saying that Joe invited us to go play trivia, and we were there.
We were.
We
sucked, but we were there.
We sucked. I came up with random shit, just throwing it out.
You were literally 5 minutes away. That
Yeah, it really wasn't that big of a trip. We were already in our car. Our cars were warmed up, and it's like, oh, okay, we're going to go here instead of.
You could definitely tell that Joe had a couple today because he's
What do
a
you mean?
little slow to the responses. He's got to think about you were a little delayed on that one. I'm just
no, it's just the time delay.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, it's the
It's,
YouTube
it's happens on bad connections every once in a while. There's some delay involved. What are you talking about?
You're just you're a little slow to the punch now today.
It's more that I'm dehydrated.
How
There's a big
long
thing.
was the race though? And what was it for? Was it charity or just you wanted to do it?
No, it was so Orange Theory Fitness does this dry triathlon twice a year. It's usually in March and September, so it's one of those benchmark things. And last time I did it was a year and 2 months after I broke my leg.
Right.
So it was, at that point, it was, can I physically do this? Like do all
Right.
these crazy things and then
Yeah. What do you
run a
do in a
5K.
triathlon? Maybe you can explain.
So
because I
the dry
don't.
triathlon, it's called the dry triathlon because there's no swimming, but no, that doesn't make it a duathlon because it's the swimming is replaced with the 2,000 meter row. So on a rowing machine, it's 2,000 meters.
Okay.
And then once you jump off that, there's 300 body weight calisthenics. So a combination of bench step ups, push ups, burpees, squats, all kinds of crazy things.
The hell with burpees.
Yeah, burpees suck.
The hell with working out.
And then after you do 2 rounds of those exercises for a total of 300 reps, then you go run a 5K. So I did that. I actually knocked about 5 minutes off my previous time. I came in at 53:50 was my finish time.
Congratulations.
So yeah, I wanted to get under 55. That was my goal. So I beat that by a minute and 10 seconds.
And then pizza and beer,
And
baby.
then pizza and beer.
Daniel,
So after I fully
celebrate.
dehydrated myself, I filled up on pizza and beer.
Daniel Valdez.
Carbs.
Burpees are the devil.
Burpees are the freaking devil.
Carbs are like
they're
water.
horrible. Have you done burpees?
No.
Do you know what they
I
are?
do after I drink this.
Do you know what they are?
I did like half of one once.
No.
So you start in a standing position.
Oh, is that where you go down, kick out, pull your legs in?
Exactly. Yeah, they're not fun.
I'm all set.
They're not
Why don't
fun.
you
at all.
demonstrate?
Yeah, demonstrate for us.
Come up here. Demonstrate. No.
Just don't throw up like I did last time I tried it. Yep. And then jump back up. Yep.
Keep doing that.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So
he makes it look so easy.
Yeah. No.
yeah, so that's not fun. And that's like after. So it's like this thing was like 40. Christ, what was it? I don't even remember.
I either run or bench. It's about as far as I go.
It's a variety though, right? You don't get to choose.
No,
which
you
of
have to
those-
do it in the order and the
Oh,
number
okay,
that
yeah.
they give it to you. So it was
40
40 chop overs. So you put your hands on a weight bench and you got to hop side to side over it. So 40 of those, followed by 20 squats, followed by 40 bench step ups. So 20 each leg stepping on and off the bench.
Yeah. No, I'd shin it.
Yeah, I'd like probably blow my back out after
20
3.
push-ups, 20 plank jacks where you're in a plank position but doing in essence a horizontal jumping jack, and then 10 burpees, and you have to do that twice,
Yeah. No.
and then you go run a 5.
And then you go run a 5K.
So
So Morningstar had a Master Mason degree. So I forgot to. I don't have their names off the top of my head, but I'll get them. But I'd like to give a shout out to all those who were just recently raised in Morningstar to the degree of a Master Mason, and we have another one on April 10th. I will not be here because some little boy sitting over there has a birthday that day.
Oh, happy birthday.
what are you going to be, like 8?
Well in
9?
advance.
What are you going to be?
6?
He's turning
13.
13. You're a teenager?
Big
Wow.
ways.
Wow.
Teenagers. So now I got to get the dancing girls and the keg. And
Yeah.
I
God
remember.
bless.
we're taking
remember
the Sturgis.
Take a Sturgis for his 13th birthday.
I think I discovered Daisy Fuentes at 13.
Welcome to manhood, baby.
What was that freaking movie? Was it Bridesmaids where the girl's on the phone? She's like, my sons are disgusting. They could snap a towel in half.
Now.
He doesn't understand that yet.
No, that's fine.
He will. He will. Anyway, but we raised, I think it was three or four Master Masons, and we got 3 or
Was
more.
it brother
coming.
Alex, brother Sevi, brother Chad,
Yeah.
Yep.
and
Three
then
brothers.
brother I forget the other brother's name. I apologize, but he's the one that went and used the bathroom after I told him we had no water.
Oh.
Wait, we had 4
He
brothers?
left the
I
floater.
want to say there were 4. Yeah,
My
unless
memory's shot.
brother Chad was not.
I recognize all the names, but I didn't think there was a 4th
I want to say
brother.
there were 4. Sevi was the
Now I feel
big
bad.
guy.
Oh, yeah.
Sevy's
yeah.
the big one with the mohawk.
And Alex was probably the smallest.
Yeah, he was the lightest. We'll say
Yeah,
that.
I think there was
I
Yeah.
think it's funny. He's still the lightest.
They're
So you
they're all
twin
good
flew
brothers.
them.
Alex a little bit. They're
Yeah.
very, very good brothers.
Did he grow wings and did he need Red Bull?
oh, some of them flew.
They all had a good time. The degree went off amazingly. Like it really was.
Yeah, it
You
was
guys
good. It
do
was a lot of
excellent
fun.
degree work.
Everybody did
It
good
was really
in
cool.
my absence.
It was really
Yeah.
nice because, like, it's been a long time since I've attended a Master Mason degree.
Mm.
And that's one thing, we talked about the fellowship of a table lodge, but getting in lodge for degree work
Mm.
really, like, brings it all back. So it was nice after, between COVID and,
Right.
being in a lodge where we haven't raised somebody in a little bit. God, just seeing a degree and then being a part of the degree, because I sat in as senior warden for the second half. God, it just like gives you all the feels. It makes everything come back. And you're like, this is why we do this.
I felt really bad that I missed the last and I missed this. I'm going to be missing the next one. I feel bad because I never miss anything major like that. But
Don't worry about it. These guys got it.
no, yeah, no, I have
they did a
full
good job. They did a real
confidence.
good job.
There was no panic in my, there was no panic that I was like, oh, I got to get there. I got to do my part, because I was supposed to be
No, I was
number
covered.
3. But, talked to Steve and I knew, this, you guys could, the lodge could have handled it. I was not.
And they did. Everybody did their part really well. I was really impressed with, Brother Perry sat in the East. He did a great job.
Yeah.
Brother Patrick was the senior deacon for the second half, and he
Right.
did a really good job with that. And our ruffians were our ruffians. That's always fun.
They did
Right.
their job. Yeah.
I wrote in the group because I said they had a rehearsal here yesterday morning. They had a rehearsal for the MM degree, and I said, "Hey, do I have a part?" And I don't know, Pat Sukas or whatever, the senior warden was busting balls. Like, no, you blew it from last time.
Yeah, you got cut
And
out of the roster.
I got cut out of the roster, and I said,
what happens,
been
bro.
canceled. So again, I fire back because I'm a troll. This is what I do, and I fire back with, I haven't missed a lodge meeting in 12 years. So I'm like, sorry, it was a $375 NRA meeting, and I put the hands up emoji.
I haven't missed a lodge meeting. I haven't missed a lodge meeting in 3 years, but I missed 4 of the last 5.
Yeah.
Well, no,
exactly.
but so I wrote that right, and I mean, 2 seconds later, Steve calls me, and I'm like, "Gotcha, bitch." But he called me up, and I told him, I said, he's like, "Do you want a part?" And I said, "Real? No, I don't." I said,
No,
I
let the
feel
young guys pick up.
my job as a
Baton,
pass
yeah.
master is to sit on the sideline. If you need me to plug a hole, I'll plug a hole. But give somebody the parts that I've done and other pass masters have done a million times over,
Right.
and give these young guys an opportunity to take
Yeah.
the part.
The integral parts, the really important ones, senior deacon, all that stuff
Yeah.
should be done by, I think, the younger brothers,
Yeah.
the brothers that are in the line.
But give them an opportunity because, again, I've talked about this before. There's other, we'll just say there's a certain commandery where, I belong to, that you, as a younger guy, want to move up and you have established past
Yeah,
Right,
Messner was
eminent-
mad at you last night.
commanders. Whatever.
Messner's very upset with you.
La-di-da.
I didn't get on the game last night. I'm gonna have to.
What was it? Was it in person though? Was it an in-person meeting?
I think so.
Was it? Oh,
I think it was their first one back. Yeah. I don't know. Reach out to him.
Oops.
He loves you.
I'll reach out to him. What was I going to say though? Yeah. So I, you have these past masters, past commanders that just, they don't want to give up their parts for the young guys. I mean, that's kind of what you're supposed to do is you mentor them.
Yep.
Right.
You're always training your replacement in a sense.
You should. You're perpetuating the craft.
Right.
Yeah. Otherwise, what happens if you,
It dies.
if you have no legacy?
If you have nobody
nobody's
to
taking
pass
over
it
for
along
you.
to,
Yeah.
right.
Right.
No,
Past masters sit on the sides and tut when people get it right and they think it's wrong.
That's.
I have seen that before too
I
in
don't.
Lodge, and I hate that. I hate don't even tut when it's wrong.
Yeah, I don't.
Whisper good counsel and help a brother out. Like you don't, that drives me crazy when I see that during a degree or
right.
something.
Let it happen.
It's like now
And
you're
then go up
now
to
you're just
them.
ruining it for the candidate.
Exactly.
Come on now.
Let it happen. It's probably not that big of a deal, and then address it afterwards.
I've always had this thing: praise in public, scold in private.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's the Masonic way.
if you suck at it, pull them aside. Be like, hey man, you got to clean your shit up.
Well,
You know
and
what I
that's
mean?
what they talked about. They were preaching that at the Grand Lodge seminar yesterday for the DDs, AGMs, and AGAs.
Right.
You're not in charge. You're a guest of the lodge. Act as one.
How was that, by the way?
It was good. I was in the AGM room. Steve Allenson was doing the presentation, who's a really good guy and like pretty straightforward. Like, look, don't walk in there like
Who was this?
Steve Allenson.
Alan said, yeah.
He's like, don't walk in there
Good
like
brother.
you're in charge.
Right.
You're a guest of the worshipful master in that lodge.
Right.
Act as one.
Mm-hmm.
And if you see something wrong, just like if you were in somebody else's house and you saw something you might not be okay with, you wouldn't stop the whole thing. Say, "Oh my God, you're doing that wrong." If you're over, like somebody invites you over to dinner, you're like, "Oh my God, I need to go another 10 minutes."
Because
You
it
would
doesn't
just sit there.
solve
True, though.
anything.
You would eat the food and then say,
Keith Noonan. I've never seen multiple candidates. Most a double first. Didn't like it. We always do the singles. Okay, so let me. There are parts of certain degrees that they are done individually here in the States. I know Keith's over England, and they do things a
So
little
they
bit
do
different.
Across the pond.
Yeah,
Across the pond.
the entire degree they do singly for a single candidate.
Yeah.
Which, yeah.
It's yeah.
If you have the luxury of doing that,
yeah,
Yeah.
it's great.
Right.
Realistically, especially, and hats off to Morningstar Lodge. They've had a lot of petitioners and candidates come through. Literally, you would be doing a degree
Mhm.
every other week.
Mhm.
we
On top of your stated communications, on top of any other events that you have, you'd literally be meeting almost every week of the month.
Yeah.
absolutely.
And brothers just can't do that. And don't get me wrong, that's a great problem to have, that you have so many people coming in that you have to do multiple.
Right.
But there are certain ones where, yeah, I prefer to do it one, maybe two, especially the Master Mason degree.
Mm.
But that's a luxury that,
Not many
Quite-
lodges have.
well, and quite frankly, it's a
Right.
luxury I'd give up for the amount of, like, if you can get a bunch of good brothers coming in,
Mm.
I'd give up that luxury so that you can put 4 together at one time.
And put on a good show for the candidates too.
Exactly.
It gets watered down if you're doing one every week. I mean, you would be on point with your ritual, but you would start, I think,
It would start
I
to
would-
lose the
I would
meaning.
start
It's
getting lazy.
overexposure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Evan Seidner gave my EA give back last week. Looking forward to this journey. So mote it be, brother.
I'm
Say,
guessing that's his proficiency. Is that,
his proficiency.
cheers, brother.
It's either proficiency
Well
or
done.
petition, one of the two.
Yeah.
I guess because of petition, you get back, right? Could be.
I don't know, or give
Hey,
back
let us know.
if they ask you the questions and you give back the
Yeah.
answers. Yeah, clarify that for us, brother. What exactly is the give back, and what? Let us know what lodge you hail from.
Either way, congratulations.
Cheers. We've seen a lot. I've seen a lot of comments like that on our page lately.
Mhm.
Petitions, because now that COVID is kind of going away and lodges are open back up, I see a lot of people on our page that have submitted their petitions and are going through their investigation committee or going through their EAs. So
Mhm. Photos are starting to come in of
It's nice
people
to
going
see
through
it.
their EAs. And
yeah. We just saw a picture of Michael Alchin on
Yep.
the podcast.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
continuing his journey. He is.
Awesome. That's good. We haven't talked to him in a while. He says, sorry, it was my proficiency.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Solon, Ohio, 757.
Cool.
Very nice. Congratulations.
That's Hembrecht country out there, right?
Yes.
Ohio.
Yes.
Proficiency ain't easy.
What?
it's
What?
worth
Nothing. Nothing. I'm not feeding this dragon. I'm not
What
feeding
dragon?
this-
My daughter is in Ohio too. It's a great place.
Keith Noonan, you obviously have a higher number of candidates, or we have loads more lodges. Most lodges meet a maximum of 6 times a year. Oh, boy.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I don't know how they manage that then.
All
honestly.
degrees, business taken care of in any, care of in meetings or in a committee meeting. Okay. So they're set up, maybe I'm wrong. Stop me if I'm wrong, Keith, but he's saying they meet 6 times a year. All of them are degrees. Business is taken care of during those 6 or in a committee, off of them, if the committee meets outside of the meeting.
So they don't have those like stated communication, like business meeting only kind of things.
That would
that's what I
actually,
gather.
That's- yeah.
not for nothing, that would actually be a pretty cool thing if
Yeah.
all business took place outside of a stated.
Yeah.
Well,
You
Scottish
just come
Rite,
with reports.
Scottish Rite has one business meeting,
Yeah.
and that's the annual. That's
Yeah.
it.
So all other business is accounted for in a budget or whatever, and it's taken care of by committees, and you might report back occasionally. And then
Would
they're
make-
probably doing 6 times. They're probably doing EA, Fellow Craft Master Mason, EA, Fellow Craft Master Mason. Went like 2 classes through.
That would
Yeah,
make
but it
for
still
a
wouldn't work,
long-
It wouldn't
How many
work here.
freaking EAs we have in the
I-
pipe that are
yes,
still
I know.
like you'd be doing an EA every freaking month.
Well, that was a whole nother thing that I won't get into
What?
with the potential EA and the.
Why not? We'll talk about it. It's nothing.
Talk
It's
about the
nothing
vote.
bad. And I think it needs to be talked about. That some lodges. I think it was accidental.
No, I think it was
just
intentional.
not. I think it was just not understanding the way that the process works. But here in Connecticut, we have a process, which is read the petition, bring it to lodge. Well, you bring the petition to lodge after you receive it.
Right.
It gets read. That meeting, they set up an investigation committee.
Mhm.
That investigation committee, then in between that meeting and the next meeting, is supposed to go out and meet whoever. Should not be done the night that you're voting on.
Correct.
And I
Right.
think
They
that's
should
what
come
the problem.
back. The problem was, and I was involved in a few conversations, and I'll leave it at that. The problem was, and to me, it's just bad form. but that's my personal opinion. Somebody knew that it wasn't being done correctly. And rather than stopping the proceedings and standing up and saying, hey, per the regs, you need to do A, B, and C,
Right.
they sat on the sidelines quietly and black cubed the guy. So it was more of a protest of the process than the person coming through,
Right.
which to me violates rule number 1. Like, stand up and say, hey, time out. Before you go through with this, there's a process to follow that we're not following. So let's go back and let's take a step back. We don't need to rush this through. I'll give you good counsel. Let's not do it. But that somebody remained, in my opinion, in my theory,
Right.
is that somebody remained quiet
Right.
and then just blackball the guy because they didn't agree with the process. Not that there was anything wrong with the candidate, because the candidate was he's a good candidate. Again, my opinion. I can't speak for everybody in the lodge, but based on his background, and he came prior to the degree. We all met him.
Right.
So I think it was more of a protest of process than a protest of the individual person. However, things have been corrected, and I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. I think it's, if any other lodges have this issue and everything, it's very important, very, 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 very important to read your bylaws and know your rules and regulations and what you can and cannot do. Because the last thing you will ever want to do is do something that will violate your bylaws and or violate the rules and regulations, because God forbid, the chances of it happening are probably slim, but let's just say that brother goes to another lodge and tells that procedure.
Right.
Well, even then, it's like it nullifies.
It
whether
nullifies-
anyone knows or not. It nullifies
that's-
whatever that act
right.
was,
Yeah,
whether
really,
it's a code or whatever.
It becomes a big waste of time.
Yeah,
But it really, and
that's
a bad,
really what it
a bad
is,
experience and a waste of time is what it becomes.
Yep.
So,
Keith Noonan, we're allowed 2 balls in case one is a mistake.
I think that's the balloting procedure here in Connecticut.
well, and
right?
that's, if
There's reasonable suspicion.
if there's reasonable
Made me laugh
belief
about the 2
that,
balls thing. I don't know.
I know.
and we have, and I'll go into that. We actually did take a second vote that night because we had 4 newly raised Master Masons that by the time we got to the vote had an opportunity to vote.
And they may not have.
And they may not
understood
have
the
fully
process.
understood what they're doing. So the master was given good counsel and said, hey, if you reasonably believe that there could have been an error because we have some people that are here voting for the first time, let's re-explain it. Make sure everybody understands, and we can vote again if the master so chooses. But then I understand that there's some issues.
So let me get into the story.
Yeah,
right?
go into this because I was told this story afterwards.
This has happened year after year, and we don't know who the son of a bitch is. And I call him a brother. I call him a son of a bitch with all brotherly love.
Yeah.
I love all my brothers, but this is the biggest douche canoe move you can do.
Yes, this is wrong. And I wasn't here when this
And I
started.
don't know
so
if it's
not me.
done as being funny or whatever
It's
the
not
case
funny
may be.
because it's a waste of time.
Yeah, it's not really not.
Like,
You're gonna
It's a
watch.
serious business.
You're going to watch an entire room, like, smiles and everything, and laughing and joking, and not laughing and joking, a lot, but you know what I mean. Like, we're having a good time in lodge as we always do, and it just go from like all brotherly love and fun to just like dead silence after this thing. So here's what happens.
Yeah.
In the state of Connecticut here, we are allowed to, if we have, let's say, multiple petitions.
Let's say
we
four.
have
Let's say four.
We'll go with 4. We can do a vote on
all
all
4.
4 at
Right.
the same time, so that we can vote them all in at the same time under one vote. It
Right,
is-
and that's the master's prerogative. If he
Master's
so chooses,
prerogative.
he can absolutely do it. It's not a violation in any
it's
way.
and it's expressed that, listen, this is the way we're going to do this. We're going to vote on all 4.
Right.
Mr. So-and-so, Mr. So-and-so, Mr. So-and-so, and
Right.
Mr. So-and-so. Is there anybody who has a problem with this before we do it? And you just get crickets. Just
No.
yeah. No.
It's the master's prerogative.
So
And
then,
the idea is if it comes back cloudy, then you have to do each one individually.
Right. Guess
Right.
what happens
Every
single time.
And then you
There's
vote
one
individually.
black ball, and you just watch the junior warden. He opens the box, and he goes, and you hear the ball, go, and he goes,
Yeah.
cloudy in the south.
Yep.
And then he gives it to the senior warden. He looks, and he's like,
Cloudy.
So wait.
Cloudy in the west. Like, no, everybody's like, now everybody's looking around like, who's the motherfucker? Like, who's the one getting shivved out?
Which you can't even talk about or try
No,
to
see, no, you
derive
can't. That's
because
the part.
it's inviolably secret.
And there's always everybody at this point is stone faced because nobody wants to crack
Yeah.
a smile. They're like, that's him. That's him.
right.
We're gonna get him afterward.
Get it. I think it was Barry. I think it was Barry.
So let me get this straight. So after you do the revote on each individual petitioner,
everybody
it's
won.
clear.
Then it's clear.
Oh, that's messed up. That's somebody just like,
So now you've taken 5 votes.
right, and you've wasted.
and you know, like
everybody's
that's got to
time.
take what, a half hour,
Yeah, easily.
45 minutes,
Probably longer. There's
Half-
ceremony
yeah.
involved in that.
Yeah.
Like, it wastes a lot of freaking time.
And it's always, oh, this is after we close the meeting. Declare this lodge closed. And
Who did it?
Who did it? Did
You
you do it?
son of
Did
a-
you do it? Did you do it? No, I didn't do it. Did you do it? No,
Well,
no, I didn't
that's
do it.
why when I stood up,
You can't
and
even
said,
ask the question,
I
man.
know you
It's-
can't ask the question.
Well, that's when I stood up and said to Worshipful Master Steve, it is within your privilege and prerogative that if you feel that honestly there was an error, you can take another vote.
Right.
And I looked around and everybody at the sidelines were like, oh. And then it came back the same, and they're like, that was a waste of time. I'm like, well,
No, it's not though. It's a
not though.
serious
You want to
business.
make sure
It's a
you need to
serious
guard the
business.
West Gate, but
Yep.
you also need to make sure
Right.
that, because if somebody, and just to clarify, in Connecticut, I don't know where it is in other jurisdictions, if you don't get through that first vote, if you get a black cube or multiple, whatever the
Right.
case may be,
You're done.
you have to wait 6 months before you can apply again.
Yeah.
To any lodge in Connecticut. So it's kind of a big deal, especially if you have a good brother that, or a good candidate that wants to be a brother. And you're like, yeah, it's gonna be another,
brother.
It's gonna be another.
And
6
meanwhile, the
months.
secretary's at the desk just hard typing on the keys
Well,
because he's
Rafferty
pissed
was
off because now
ripping
he's got to.
Rafferty's ripping his hair out.
He ain't got. You're screwed up. But
But you know, those are real things that
don't
happen.
be a douche though. If you're doing it to be funny, I mean, all right.
It's
not
not
funny.
funny.
It's not
because
funny.
that makes the difference of between. Oh, I'm going to get out of here like 8:30 or so.
Right.
I may have something to do, and then
And it's not that we want to get out of our meetings early. It's just we don't want to stay there
No,
till
but if
11:30 at night.
Well,
Like,
you can end the formal part of it and start to enjoy fellowship,
right.
and
At
then next
Jimmy's.
thing you know, it's like
Best downtown. Dude.
now we got to do 4 more votes. I'm
Right.
here till at least 9:30 now.
More than that, it's supposed to be a solemn and serious process.
It should be, and
And
somebody
like, if
shouldn't be
you're doing
making
it just
a
to be
mockery of it.
a d-bag, like
I mean,
Like if
You're
you
not
have a
being
serious,
nice.
if you have a
Okay,
serious
maybe you-
concern,
and yeah, maybe you don't like the
Right.
whole voting it together. Then state that shit in the beginning when
Well,
you're
yeah.
asked. Does
When you're asked,
anybody
yeah.
have a
but
problem
here's
with
the
this?
thing: you don't have to like it. It's allowed, and it's the master's
and the master
prerogative.
can still do it, and you can't just blackball because you don't like the process.
Right, which is unfortunately what I think happened, but we were able to nullify the vote and everything's been taken
Yeah.
care of and whatever. But all is good. All
Yeah,
is-
I got the
That's
phone
my
call. I
opinion.
think the next day, I think I got the phone call about,
You
hey,
and-
what do we do about this? And I'm
Yeah.
like, and then we kind of were all talking.
You and
back
I
forth.
spoke, and then I spoke
Yep.
to Rafferty and said, well, here, take a look at this reg and blah, blah, blah.
Well, realistically, it's a no vote because the process was flawed. So you just
You just
nix,
Pretend like it didn't happen.
Yep.
Because it was
strike it from the record, and
Invalid.
keep it
It
moving.
was a calamity.
Yeah. So Jimmy's killing me with the food downstairs. So you
Oh
smell
my
that
God, it
shit?
smelled like sausage and pepper.
Oh,
yeah, is that what
It
that
smells
is?
really
Yeah.
freaking
Oh,
good.
yeah.
Definitely peppers.
I'm hungry.
It's the cracks in the brick of this old building that the smell just permeates.
It's
It's
They
like
need
it's
to
like
give
some
me
kind of
some,
marketing.
All right.
ploy.
So
You
what
need to give
happened
me
with the
some food to
crapper?
make up from that air conditioning.
So I need to laugh. What happened with the crapper? You had an MM degree, probably served like greasy ass Louise
God.
pizza,
Well, no.
right?
Here's the thing. Here's the thing that happened.
I'm
glad I didn't
Yes,
tell.
the pizza was served. However, I got here early with our senior warden, Brother
Uh-huh.
Patrick, and I went to go fill up the mug to fill up the coffee machine so we could have coffee. I wanted a cup of coffee.
Right.
No water. And I'm like, well, crap, there's no water. So I put a note out in the group meeting and saying, hey, we got no water. So then I was like, oh, I'm stopping at Costco. I'll get a couple cases. No, I don't mean we don't have drinking water. We have no water in the pipes. Like,
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
The running water no
That's
longer
like-
runs.
Okay. So I went downstairs, told Chris. I guess they had somebody out here early in the week during work. It didn't affect them, so they assumed it didn't impact us upstairs,
Right,
but
right.
it did, and we had no water. So then every single person that walked in, we have no water. Don't use the bathroom. If you need to use the bathroom, you got to go downstairs.
Fat bastard left a floater.
So then one of our brothers that was going through the degree
Left an upper decker.
walks in. He walks in the bathroom, comes in, and goes, dude, the toilet won't flush. Like, did you not hear me when I looked you? I looked you in the face and said, we got no water. Don't use the
He
bathroom.
rounds the corner. He's like, I got to talk to an Indian about a tree. I'll be right back.
I'm like,
Yeah, but
he's
you
like, I thought you were joking. I'm like, well,
I'm
then
guilty.
give a test flush before you go.
I'm guilty of that too. When we lose power, we were on a well, right? And you know, I didn't grow up on a well. I grew up on city water.
Yeah.
So, like, I'll forget. I'll go in and use the bathroom and be like, oh, okay. And I'll hit the thing. And I'll be like, oh, God. Even if the lights are out in the room, like, I'm still trying to flush the toilet. Like, all
But
of a sudden it's
you
gonna
can
come
still
back to
fill
life.
up the back and do it that way.
You
right?
can,
If you had,
yeah, but then you have to like
I mean-
do the work of like filling up the bucket from the bathtub and pouring it into the back of the
Yeah,
toilet.
Did you not
That's-
realize there was no
that's-
water when you didn't hear the?
That's better than
Yeah.
that's better than leaving a floater, though. No.
Oh yeah, I would never do that. That's
Right.
disgusting.
Keith Noonan, grab hold of the ball so it doesn't rattle and declare it in favor. Whoever didn't the no vote
Huh?
should stand. Normal practice. Grab hold of the ball so it doesn't rattle and declare. Oh, he's saying if somebody drops a black ball, you grab hold of the ball and just say, yeah, it's all clear.
No,
well,
man, that's
One thing
That's
that
how it
we have
works.
done
We
also.
actually have cubes here in
yeah, it's a
mornings.
black cube.
We have
yeah.
a black
and
cube
that's
because
in case you're
It's so you can
colorblind
feel it.
or it's tough to
Yeah,
see.
so our ballot box,
which
it's
is you
got
pretty
a big hole
universal
in it.
in Connecticut. Yeah, you stick your hand in it and you feel around.
We have another older box that you actually get handed a white ball and a black ball, and then you have to put
You
it
choose. Yeah.
into the top.
But then people will know what you have left over.
Bingo. That's why we ended up switching to the other one.
Yeah.
So now you got to stick your phalanges in there and make a whole bunch of
Phalanges.
noise.
Fondle,
Stick all kinds of
fondle in
make
there,
all
yeah.
kinds of noise.
Yeah.
That's like my go-to. I stick it in the freaking thing and I go just make a whole ton of noise unnecessarily.
Yeah.
And then you hear.
But seriously, we take the voting process very serious here in Connecticut Freemasonry.
Did you know that
Did
a
you
Masonic
know?
a Masonic voting thing is the first time that in I think 1717, right? It's first Masonic meeting.
What? Oh, Goose and Gridiron. Yeah, 1717.
That was the first time during their votes where "stop playing with your balls" was ever used.
Really?
No,
Damn it! Got me again.
You're so gullible. Ken.
I really am. If I weren't, we wouldn't have nearly as much fun.
even Joe's old. He's like, I knew where this was going.
No, but one other thing that is a
Wouldn't
master's
surprise me.
prerogative, since we're talking about voting. So this has happened multiple times in my mother lodge where you count off, 1 through however many voting members you have in the room, so that when you pull out, you know how many balls
Right.
you should be counting or cubes.
You've got to have the same number black as white because
It should even out to the same number of voting
Right.
members because
Because
every master mason in the lodge is obligated to vote.
That's what I was actually
and
going to
vote
say.
their conscience.
Oh,
If there
yeah.
aren't any black balls
Vote for
left,
the
they
good of the
can't
law.
vote their conscience. So you got to have equal. Yeah.
For the junior wardens and senior wardens and the worshipful master, make sure you're doing that. Don't just look to see, okay, whole white, we're good. Make sure you're counting because
gotta
if
count.
what if
Everybody could blackball them. And they
here's another thing. Though. If you get an EA sitting there and he accidentally got a ball and he voted because he didn't know any better and nobody told him, now your vote is no good because an EA
and that's
or
the
a
only way you
photograph-
would know, right?
That's the only way you would know is by
Yeah.
counting the actual ballots.
And in Ashlar Aspetuck, we've had the opposite. We've counted off, and let's say it's 19. And you go to count up, and it's all clear, but there's only 18.
No, the ghost voted too.
Well, there's one less.
Oh, there's one less. Yeah.
So it's
Danny
like,
Valdez says
Somebody didn't vote, which is also not correct.
in regards to
The
my
Tyler or whoever.
no, they didn't
the
cover
first
that.
the first time in 1717 was the first Masonic Lodge was the first time that "Don't Play with Your Balls" was ever used.
Mhm. They
He
didn't
said they didn't
that.
cover in the History Channel. So
So this vote
So,
happened in our lodge, and we had an elderly brother there that was struggling.
before you get into this, can I just say, or,
course, yeah.
unless you're going to actually say, go ahead, actually finish what you're going to say because
We knew he was struggling. So let's say we had 19 and we only saw 18. We're like, okay, everybody, let's count off again.
Right.
Make sure we have 19. we're gonna vote again. Make sure white balls elect,
Right.
black cubes reject. Blah blah blah. Went through it again.
Mm.
We had 19,
Right.
and there were 18 white balls again, and no black cubes. It is the worst. After the second time, it is the Worshipful Master's prerogative where he could say, "I find it clear." Boom.
And be done
We're not doing this again because there are
Right.
no black cubes.
And here in Connecticut, it is required that if you're a member in good standing, like you
You
immediately
have
have,
to
to
vote.
vote.
You
It's
have
not like
to vote.
optional.
On a
You can't
candidate.
abstain. On a candidate.
candidate.
On a candidate. Yeah, not necessarily on a
On
referendum.
If you're
or something.
voting on minutes or whatever, you can abstain.
Right.
And I actually got into
That's
a
fine.
real big argument with somebody in open lodge over
Me
that
too.
because they questioned me on it. Like, you have to vote. I'm like, I voted. I abstained.
Yeah, I did. I abstained. Yeah.
I entered a vote of abstinence.
Mm.
No, you can't do. You have to vote yes. No, I don't.
Mm.
Yes, you do. I'm like, well, per regulation. Blah, 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 blah,
Look it up in the
blah,
rules and
blah.
regs, man. I can do it.
Oh. And of course, it was a fucking past district deputy because you guys think you know everything.
No, we don't think we know.
Yeah.
Was it
Apparently
past
was-
district?
Mama's wrong again.
Here's the other thing, though. Don't ever do this during a vote. And I think it's kind of cool that we're talking about this because this is kind of a cool segue. And this usually happens with the older brothers who, God
Maybe
bless
they
their
got
heart.
arthritis. Maybe they can't feel
No.
quite the same way.
Not only that, but the older brothers, they do one of two things. And God bless them. I love them. They put in their time.
For you, but go ahead.
So what they'll do is, you got to vote. And they, right here, they snap the life. And then they go, which one am I putting in again? And you're like, no, you can't do that. Like,
Right, right.
You should know that.
and then somebody's going to go, why? No, start it
Yeah,
all over
you
again.
can't do that,
Nope,
yeah.
done.
So there's two
Don't
brothers.
ask the person next to you.
I mean, I know brothers that are like younger brothers that fall asleep in lodge, right? It's not just old folks. Let's just.
Martinelli.
It's not just no. There are others. I've seen brothers
does?
of all ages.
I've
fall
seen it
asleep.
multiple times. But there's two brothers in the Fairfield County area, and I know you've run into them in Scottish Rite. Two older brothers that they used to travel together. They don't so much anymore, but one's like 92, and
Yes. Yeah. I know who you're talking about.
I've sat in lodge with these guys where one guy is all he can't hear,
Mhm.
and he keeps turning up his hearing aids,
Right.
but he can't hear that there's feedback coming out of the sound.
Oh,
like,
yes,
it's
and
like
you're across the
stealing.
finish.
Jimi Hendrix guitar is like.
Yeah.
I was like, brother, I'll help you. And then because they're hard of hearing, sometimes after a nice meal downstairs before lodge, certain things come out and they don't realize it. And sometimes it's as loud as that. And it always happens when it's quiet, like during a vote or during like a prayer or something.
During a
And
prayer, yeah.
It's not intentional. It's not intentional at all.
Right.
But those two that I've specifically those two have added like so much entertainment to a normally quiet and somber event.
Keith Noonan, votes appear on our summons. There is a notice of motion in the meeting before. So no votes shouldn't happen. Objections should be highlighted beforehand.
Okay. So
God, I wish
before,
we did that.
before a meeting or a degree, they
So
get
if there's any issues, that doesn't even go to a vote. Is that what you're saying?
they get like
No, no, no.
legislation packets before each meeting. Kind
So
of
you
thing.
know-
So you
Kind
know
of like
what's
Grand
gonna be
Lodge
voted
does.
on. Yeah, like Grand Lodge.
Gotcha.
We do something. The only thing we really do is if there's a change to the bylaws. Every brother has to be noticed, given due notice 30 days prior,
Or a special, right?
electronic, snail mail, however
Yeah.
they communicate.
By the way, I need a copy of Morningstar's bylaws.
You sent them to me. Or did you request it?
I requested it because Raph tried to send me a Google Docs or a Dropbox link,
Yeah.
and I was restricted from it. So then I had to fill
Oh,
out a
probably
request for access
I'll get it for you.
because there's some stuff that I need.
I will do it
That's gonna
tonight.
things are shit's gonna go down by the end of the
Um,
month.
What?
Really?
Yeah, trustee stuff.
Okay.
Letters are being added, and I need to check bylaws.
So you're playing young jock in the bedroom.
You don't want to talk about this on the air?
No, that's I just requested bylaws. That's all.
Okay. Redacted.
Yeah,
Strike that from the record.
Dude.
Well,
Yeah,
for the people that stuff's going to go down, they don't listen to this.
Yeah, I mean, every lodge has things that.
No, it's more of a
matter of procedure kind of thing.
Procedural.
Exactly, and that's a good piece of advice and lesson. And before you jump into anything and start going on any endeavors, refer back to your lodge bylaws.
Correct.
Because that'll dictate exactly what you can and cannot do.
Absolutely.
So refer back to them. So I'm just doing due diligence.
Right. Well, I want to apologize to our listeners because Tim Hogan will be on next week, not this week. We have to work out some, again, my Dell blew up, so I'm stuck with the MacBook, and I'm trying to learn because XSplitter doesn't work with Mac. So basically, I had to download OBS with a whole new system I knew nothing about. Couldn't get Skype to go into OBS because I didn't have the NDI plug. When I added the NDI plug, that didn't freaking work. Ken's over there MF in his computer. I'm MF in this one. And Joe's playing, I don't even know, Air Supply or whatever the hell you're listening to. Which was pissing me off even worse. He's all calm, just
having a beer.
No, we're getting angry, and I'm playing Pointer Sisters. I'm so excited.
Yeah, that was what was really enraging about the whole thing. But you know what? I got a new machine. By next week, we're going to have everything straightened out. We'll have two redundant machines. If one doesn't work, the other one will.
Yep.
And by the way, this whole OBS, NDI, MF, I understand MF.
I don't understand any of this either, so I'm learning this as I go.
We watch a lot of YouTube videos.
But yeah, you're getting angry. I'm playing like this goth version of Paint It Black by the Stones, and then I'm so excited by the Pointer Sisters, and
but we have
I wasn't helping.
Yeah, those are encouraging musical choices.
We're going to be updating a lot of different things.
And it's all made possible by our Patreon
Absolutely.
members who pay $5 a month to join us on Patreon.
Do it, Joe.
Where you'll get exclusive access to Patreon content. You'll get access to our multiple Discord channels. And receive the ever sought after, elusive, rare Freemasons gold tone podcast pin.
It's vintage now too, right?
Yeah, it's vintage. It's been around a little.
Yeah.
We might have to change up the design a little bit so everybody can buy another one.
So for those who join Patreon Discord, just George's Fuckmaster 3000.
What?
He's talking about my new computer. So for those who join Patreon, it helps us out tremendously with money and
helps us upgrade
one of the things I'm going to be buying is I'm getting I know we got Ken's wonderful little fish lens one, but what I want to do is get 3 different cameras, one pointing to each one of us, so you have more of an uploaded thing. I think this summer, now that I've got time not time, but it's going to be nicer out. It's going to be nicer up here.
Yeah.
I'm going to finish building the table, whatever you would call it, the podcast bench,
podium,
whatever,
the bar.
So I'm not going to be side turned anywhere. You're going to look at my beautiful fat face from the front. We're going to be putting 3 different cameras. We're changing a whole lot of shit. I'm planning on changing a lot of stuff. So all your support, and we thank you for it. Everything you give us, that's what it goes to. Get a strong filter for this camera.
Well, that's good that we have an independent camera on me so that I can filter it.
We'll put a tanning filter on it.
Unfortunately, my
orange.
My Dell blew up before I was ready to. So now I'm stuck with but you guys could see I've upgraded. We've changed out some things. I did the 1080p now, so we're in high def. Ken's in ultra high def, or godlike elusive super white or whatever.
Can I see my pores?
But we're going to be doing a lot more upgrades. So if you could also help us out on YouTube, like, subscribe, share.
Smash that like and subscribe button.
Share.
Smash it.
Tell everyone about us.
Smash it.
On top of that, if you could also Apple reviews.
Smash it.
We like 5-star reviews. We accept constructive criticism if you have any.
Absolutely.
Just give us some 5 stars. You stop starting shit.
Joe's on fire over here.
He is.
Just like
because he's had a couple.
Full of carbohydrates and 5Ks.
What was that movie? He's like, "Are you drunk? I had a couple daiquiris. What have you?"
Couple daiquiris.
Hamburger.
What's wrong with you?
God, you stop.
What?
Nothing. You're funny.
I fell down a flight of winding stairs.
I
hit my head on a round table.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ.
Things are going south, gentlemen.
Yes, they are. Anyway,
You can't censor me.
no, I wouldn't censor you, Joe. We would never censor you.
You can't stop the signal, Mel.
No, everything goes somewhere, and I go everywhere, baby.
Well, you got your battery pack sitting right next to you. But anyway,
I just
solar
think it's
power.
funny. We're gonna have
Solar
like
power.
we're gonna have like a tanning filter on him,
Yeah,
and then with me, it's gonna be like the freaking Paula Abdul video where everything's slimming, and then you're gonna have like a fun house thing to make you taller. It'll be great.
Awesome.
Actually, my slimming filter might make you taller. We might be all right. I'm so excited.
we'll work it all out.
Anyway, for the Freemasons podcast,
that's it.
I'm Right Worship Brother George Marjorie signing off.
What do you mean we're done?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Our mark, baby.
we're doing our outro here.
Worship Brother Joe signing off.
And Worshipful Brother Ken signing off.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Have a great weekend, everyone.
Thank you all for tuning in.
Oh, it's been fun as always. Next week, Brother
Let's
Timothy
get
Hogan.
excited, and I just can't.